Good. Do you have any discussions while eating? No. Any questions arising from the last session? Any questions? No questions? I ask questions? Yeah? What is the Atma?
Atma is I is infinite.
Atma is I is infinite. We got straight to the bottom line, which is great. But what we have done for you is logically deduct. See, one thing is I can give a statement. Atma is Satchidananda, Atma is infinite. But what we have done here is the process of logical analysis and the process of discovery. Because it's a training of our mind to think in a particular manner. You'll be amazed that why the scientists don't find out something which is so simple and obvious. Because the truth has to be simple, it has to be obvious, because it's a matter of fact. It exists. And it is what it is. To conceptualize something is not very easy. You can go wild with it, is it not? This is what happens very often. People start with a presumption already. Many theories, whether in religion, in philosophy, even in science, even in management, we start with certain presumptions. We don't deduct it. We don't reach conclusions from observation. We just deduct it. That's it. That's how it goes. Now, therefore, even for people to follow religion, by merely somebody tells them God is like this, you are like this, there is hell, there is heaven, it's very useful for them because they don't have to think. Same way, if certain management techniques are given to you and you try to follow the formula, sometimes the formula works. But very few people are trendsetters. Few people will start their new systems of management. To take the generation to a next level, to be a trendsetter, if you want to apply it to the material world, what Sri Krishna is explaining to Arjuna is that if you want to reach from success to significance, then your vision of life has to be bigger. Therefore, our vision of ourselves and knowledge of ourselves, if it is limited, then our goals will also be limited only. Now I'll ask you, how many of you would run an Olympic? Nobody's going to put their hand up. Yeah? Nobody's going to put their hand up because you don't think you can. But if I ask you, if you try, could you succeed?
Yes.
If you're ready to put practice, you're ready to put the time, you're ready to do the exercises, you're ready to take the training, you can do it, isn't it? But immediately if somebody says you're going to run the Olympics, no. Because you already have a certain limitation of yourself in your mind. Yeah? I want you to quickly write down what is the income that you would like to get on your first job. Quickly. Think in your mind. The first job you go from here, or even if you start a business, what would be your first year's profit that you aim for? Immediately, what comes to your mind, or what you've been thinking of? Don't try to. What comes to your mind and what you've been thinking of? Have you written in month or years?
Years.
Years.
Month.
Okay, just calculate in years so we all will be on the same line. No? How many of you wrote that in a year you would make less than 10 lakhs? Majority of you, isn't it? Majority of you already know what you can make and what you cannot make. Isn't it? How many was below, what did we say? 10 lakhs, which 5 lakhs. Wow. How many of you less than 3 lakhs? Now you see, all of you have kept yourself in the bracket of your capabilities, your expectations to be below 5 lakhs. Is it not? Now tell me, how much are you going to work for that? How much talent, how much knowledge you require for a job that will pay you 5 lakhs a year? Today, if you work in a call center, you almost get that much. Is it not? Why should you do an MBA? Won't you get that much in call center? Why do you need to do an MBA for that? See how you have limited yourself and your capacity. I'm talking money-wise. I know none of you are really greedy people, but at the moment, all of you started off when I asked you that you want to take a job, and job was for money, right? But what is your target of money? Is 5 lakhs a year, which you think at the moment is a very big amount. And that's all that you can get in present market situations. Again, market situations, and that too also, maybe in Coimbatore, all those limitations that you put on yourself. Now suppose there was a dire need at home to pay off some debts where within 1 year you need 20 lakhs of rupees. What would you do? At this moment, your capacity is to earn 5 lakh rupees. But I am telling you, at this moment, there is a dire need. Otherwise, your house goes, maybe your parents suffer, whatever might happen. You have to raise 20 lakhs. What are you going to do? Will you be able to do it or no?
Yes.
So immediately he said yes, because it has to be done. Isn't it? Because at this moment, your needs and desires will be fulfilled by 5 lakhs. And that's quite a lot of money for a young man or a young woman. It's not less. Your requirement is that much. But now you think about, when you think about the responsibility you have for your parents, family, etc., already you've thought in your mind, I have to do it, I can do it. How did it happen? For yourself, you only thought 5 lakhs is more than enough. But for family now, you need is 20 lakhs. And because you need 20 lakhs, you might take up 2 jobs. You might think of other ways. You might want to move from the city, whatever. But you will take the action depending on what you have aimed for. I'm just talking monetarily, is it not? Tell me, between 5 lakhs and 20 lakhs, if I said you have a choice, what would you choose? 5 lakhs or 20 lakhs?
5 lakhs.
Not to get. Suppose I'm telling you there's a job available for 5 lakhs and 20 lakhs. What will you choose?
5 lakhs.
One says 5 lakhs. Why?
Because there will be opportunity for growth, sir.
Now see, there also, if it's a 20 lakh job, I don't think so there's opportunity for growth. Maybe that's a top position. Again, we are limiting it in our mind. Why would you go for 20 lakhs? You would want it, isn't it? Giving a choice between 5 and 20, you would want it. Then earlier, why did you choose 5 lakhs? Why did you? You would like 20 lakhs, wouldn't you? And 50 lakhs even better. Yeah?
We didn't have a choice.
We were trying to be very practical.
That's the whole tragedy. Have you read the articles by Warren Buffett, by the Microsoft guy, Bill Gates, all dropouts from college, and Warren Buffett went to Harvard University and said, I'm a dropout from this college, and if you really want to make millions, get out of your college. He said, don't misunderstand me. I don't say that college education is not good, but how you restrict yourself. Same way in life also, as if our identification is with something small, our goals, our ambitions, our potentials will also be small. And our achievements will also be small. But the moment you expanded yourself from your individual expectations of yourself to the family's expectation of you and your want to fulfill the family expectation or need, what happened suddenly? Did your mind not suddenly expand? I have greater responsibility, I have to do it, and therefore I can do it. Isn't it? That's why our rishis in Bhagavad Gita it is said, if you think only of yourself, your goals can only be limited because your notion of yourself is very limited. But when you recognize that I am infinite, no doubt you have infinite potential, but do you know what's the meaning of that? If I am infinite, I am one with everybody, isn't it? And when I say that, then when I say that I have to achieve this, am I just achieving it for myself? If for one family you could jump from 5 to 20, not even 5 to 10, if I told you at one stage that, okay, I would like you to think a little bit better about yourself and think, maximum you would jump up to how much? 10? Linear sequence. It's a common, You'll find many such astrologers on the street. Say, think of a fruit. Majority of people, what fruit are you going to think?
Oh, mango.
Orange, apple, mango. These three. Here's a choice between these three. Probability is? Yeah. Probability of this being right is how much? If I say flower, first thought is going to be rose, invariably. Yeah. You associate. Maximum the girls who wear them multi. No? But that's all. Daffodils and all will all come secondary. First will be rose, whether English or Indian. How much choice do we have? So what you would do is you would go by linear progression. I would say think more. You would say probably 7 lakhs, maybe 10 lakhs. Some of you highly optimistic about yourself. You go for 10 lakhs. When I said the family needs it, what happened? See, you jumped. Your confidence jumped. Same way, if you identify not with the individual, but your company. Tomorrow's one topic is about environment. I'm bringing it here a little bit. You take responsibility for your country. Mahatma Gandhi, when he fought for his own personal prestige for being thrown out of the first class compartment in South Africa, he created a lot of noise and created a stir in the population to rise against this injustice about color bar, etc. Neither his goal was that big, nor his potential was that great. But when he came to India and saw the suffering of the millions, and he identified that this is my country, this is my people, I have to get freedom for my country. The giant arose out of him. In South Africa also, he had the skill, he had the capability, he was a strong man, he was good gift of the gab, everything was great. But what was his achievement in South Africa? As such, a failure. But when he came to India and he identified with the totality, that totality suddenly gave him the strength of the whole country, not an individual. That's why when you join an institution, you can be a staff or an officer in that institution, or even though working for that institution, you can own that institution. The moment you own that institution, you start thinking about profits of the institution, not of the individual. Individually, you will think about only 5 lakhs. When you think for the institution, what will you be thinking? Family, 20 lakhs. For the institution? You'll be talking in crores, isn't it? And when you feel that those 5 crores you are responsible for, how will you work? Just think. And when those 5 crores the company makes, who will feel successful? You will feel successful. Otherwise, you'll be sitting like any laborer. They are making so much money. I am getting nothing out of it. Why should I work? Let them have losses. If they have losses, who has losses? But the moment you own up the company as your own, the company's profit is your profit. And it is your achievement. It is your confidence. Is it not? See how it progresses? This is what Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna. That remember that you are not an individual. Even in society, you may not know the infinite nature of the Atma. But none of us is an island on our own. Just think about it. Who is the greatest achiever in cricket today? You know Sachin Tendulkar, isn't it? But if he alone were to make his centuries and not bother about India winning, what was his chances of being the world's best player? India would not be playing international matches. Sachin Tendulkar would be very good. He would be very excellent. He would be excellent. But if India kept on losing in all the world matches, did Sachin Tendulkar have any chance to be a world's best player? When we start working as individuals, not as a team, when we have only concept of myself as one being in the universe, which is so vast, you're nothing, you're not even a speck. Once I remember somebody told me, you're not even a dimple on a pimple on the left cheek of an ant. Yeah. First of all, an ant also will not be known. In the universe, where do you stand? You are nothing. Absolutely nothing. And yet, the whole world revolves around you. Because somebody didn't smile at me, miserable. Somebody didn't give me a raise of 1,000, miserable. What happens? And we are very angry with God. He didn't give me 1,000 raise. Can you imagine 6 billion people in the world? Do you think you have any significance even to God? I mean, logically I'm saying. 6 billion people. Zillions of creatures only on earth. And yet I expect everything should revolve around me. That's the limited concept of me. But when I recognize my oneness with everybody, whether you start from the family, how you jump from 5 to 20. From 20, when you say the only institution I'm talking about, you jump to 5 crores. Can you see the jump? If you start feeling like the nation, that I have to bring the economy of India. I want India to be the greatest economic giant of the world. What would you do? What would be your targets? No, individually you can't. But your aim would be what? We can't even think about the figures, isn't it? How many trillions? That will become our goal and target. Therefore, larger our identification, greater our vision, higher our goals, greater will be the potential that will express itself in your management. Why our goals are so small and that go to any company, everybody just scribbling. They don't pay enough, they don't do this, they don't do that, they don't do that. You ask the officers, these people don't work, they're nothing, everybody wants more pay, less hours. Everybody is scribbling. Who's thinking about the company? Because nobody thinks I am the company. Because if I work, company progresses. Company progresses, I progress. See the link? Therefore, in Gita, Krishna points out, Arjuna, don't just think about yourself as an individual. From the absolute standpoint, you are infinite and you are one with everybody. But from the relative standpoint of transaction in this world, if you are one with everybody, you are as much part of the team as everybody is part of the team. And everybody's contribution goes to make the total success. And when you are part of the team, the success of the team becomes your success, isn't it? Because if India wins, even because of Sachin Tendulkar, even the Dravids, who's it? Dhoni's, etc., all begin to excel. Is it not? Their contribution at first may have been limited. But today, they are all excelling. Why? Because the team excelled. The team may have excelled up. And Sachin will say, oh, why should the team win? I should win. I should win. Let him lose a run. I should win. If he starts thinking like this, his vision becomes smaller. His individuality becomes smaller. You identify with the country. You identify with the whole of humanity. You identify with the whole of nature. Can you imagine how expansive is your vision? How expansive is your personality? And from that personality, what potential will arise? This is why the knowledge of the Atma was given by Sri Krishna. And not Atma as a limited being, but Atma as infinite. Now, a selfish person also thinks, oh no, I must get billions. But really speaking, there is no motivation for it. A greedy person also sometimes attains the billion. But there, all the business people who have made millions and millions, when I address the managing directors and CEOs of certain companies, the first thing I ask, you came up to this level of success, aren't you feeling that now you can't progress any further? And invariably the answer is yes. We have reached a plateau. The formula with which we worked brought us the success, and now coming here to the top, we are so insecure that we can't take risks that we used to take years ago. And very often they blame it to age, but that's not the case. When they were young, they had ambitions, they had goals, they had inspiration, there was a need, they worked for it. And now having got it, there is a want to express more, but there is no need. See what happens? But when you start thinking that you have a responsibility for your company, you have a responsibility for your institution, you have a responsibility for your family, you have responsibility for your nation, then the capacity that you can come up with, you might still be earning 5 lakhs for yourself, but your capacity to earn has reached crores. If tomorrow you want to do it for yourself, you can. See? Therefore, larger our vision, higher our goal, greater will be the potential that comes out of us. Isn't it? Now, I was telling you that I was talking about a group of people. I won't mention the name of the company. It is one of India's largest company, and I was actually in Africa, where I was speaking on the 3rd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, where after having given the nature of the Atma, Krishna is then pointing out to Arjuna all the means of management, leadership, attitude development, goal setting, stress management, all is there in the 3rd chapter of the Gita. When I was explaining the 3rd chapter of the Gita, and I was teaching this whole personality of ours, body, mind, intellect, etc. I was explaining all this. Tomorrow I'll show you the chart. I was explaining all this. This person came up to me and said, "This is fantastic. I didn't know Vedanta teaches such excellent marketing." He was explaining to me. And he says, this is exactly what today Western marketing is all about. You give people something that they would want more and more of it, and the more you give them, the more they want it. That is how the West has made money. And therefore, it was an incentive-based management. You give people more and more incentive and make them work. You think you can do that? How long? Give more money, make them work more. How long did that work? There's always somebody to give more money. They will move. There's always someone to say that, okay, I don't want to work more than this. While Japan used another method. They used the method of inspiration. They made them proud that I am Japan. Japan has to be the economic giant of the world. I am Sony. I am Panasonic. And Sony and Panasonic is Japan. Where? From a Holocaust. By the nuclear bomb, Japan rose in the 70s and 80s as the economic giant of the world. Today you are in a fantastic era in India. Everything about India is booming, including the beauty queens of the last 10 years. Beauty queens, India. Fashion, India. Economy, India. Spirituality, India. Everything India. You are in that era. When we were growing up, people were ashamed to even call themselves Indians. Third world country, poor country. We also are politic about our religion also. We had no economic or even political cloud anywhere. Today we can even stand for, give us the permission for nuclear, otherwise we are not going to cooperate. Everybody trembles, isn't it? We had no say. We had nothing. Some people build the pride of India. Today maximum halls are just Indian. Just like Mahatma Gandhi. We Indian, buy India. He totally broke the backbone of the British Empire who was there in India to make money. If British Empire was for some other reason in India, Gandhi would have not worked. They were mainly there to make money out of India. The moment Indians stopped buying Western clothes and Western things, what happened? The British had no purpose in India. They left. How simple. You get to the root of the problem rather than trying to, everybody else was trying to create a revolt, screaming, Jhansi ki Rani or everything. Wonderful, they all sacrificed their life. But Mahatma Gandhi understood, you can't fight them with power, fight them with strategy. And what? We Indians were not united enough to raise guns against the British. Because everybody wanted to be a British Babu. So all those who were in power, all those who were knowledgeable, all those who were capable, they were very happy with the British rule. They were getting what they wanted. If the country is going to the dogs, who cares? There's only few thought about it. And when they got identification with the country, Mahatma Gandhi as barrister could have made a lot of money himself. That was in the British court. But he would never be a person of significance. He would be successful, but not great. See the difference? So Gita points out to us, not only the self, even if you don't have that vision, that the self in me is the self in the other, at least understand that identify with the totality, identify with the total team and feel as a team. Feel as Indian. Feel as human. Feel as part of the universe. Then you will feel responsible. Then the potential will rise out of you. This totality is what is called as Ishvara or God. Got it? So at this moment when we actually observe, we find, if you observe, we find that there is creation and there is a creature, me. Is it not? But my feeling at this moment is, I did not create this creation, I came in this creation because my knowledge is I am the body. Is it not? And if there is a creation, there has to be a creator. Common sense. People may say, I don't believe in God. But where did everything tapko, what do they say in India? Tapko fly from? Yeah? Where did it fall from? There has to be a cause. You may call it a Big Bang, you may call it as God, you may call it as atom. There has to be some cause from which the whole universe has manifested. And the universe, which is made up of such laws, and in which there are intelligent beings like you and me, the cause of the universe will not be intelligent. Think about it. The cause of the universe will not be intelligent. Think about it. That is what religion calls as God. We have to understand God is not some creature sitting up there. the same Atma which is there in you, which is there in me, is the same in the totality which you call as Ishvara or God. Let me explain this to you in this manner. What makes the ocean and the wave? What makes ocean and wave? What is the cause of the ocean and wave? What is the cause?
Ocean gives rain.
No, what is the cause? Not the effect. What makes ocean and what? Wave. What is its cause? Okay, what is the cause of this? Plastic, no? It's made up of plastic. Yeah? So the cause of this coaster is plastic. What is the cause of the ocean? Water. Simple, though. Cause of the ocean is water. What is the cause of the wave?
Wind.
Wind and water.
Water only, no? Secondary factor is wind. Wind on water becomes waves. No wind on water, it is ocean, no? You only give me the answer. Yeah? Atma, which is infinite, is called as Brahman in Sanskrit, means infinite. That alone is, there can be no other. When functioning through the totality is Ishvara or God, like the ocean. Is there any comparison between wave and ocean? Is there comparison between wave and ocean? Wave is so small, it is born, it is dying. Ocean is large, it's always there. This is the concept we have of individual and God. That is the wave and the ocean. But what is the Atma, the substratum? Is water. If the wave finds out I am water, then the wave understands I am the ocean also. As a little wave, you will say, how can I be an ocean? Impossible. At the most, I can become a bigger wave from 5 lakhs to 20 lakhs. Or I can be a tsunami of Bill Gates and wipe out all competition. Yeah, Bill Gates' income compared to the world's economy may be the largest for an individual. But compared to the world's economy, what is it? Isn't it? So understand, water to be the Satchidananda Atma, which is also called as infinite and therefore in Sanskrit language Brahman. This, when it is functioning through a little wave, it is individual, you and I. Amongst you and I, some can be a ripple, some can be a big wave, some can be a breaker, some can be a tsunami, right? Yet tsunami is not the ocean. But if you forget the limitation of the wave and the vastness of the ocean, in essence, what is the ocean and water? Ocean and wave, one and the same, water. Got this? What I'm covering for you is what in the Himalayas they cover in 10 years. So if you're finding it a little bit heavy, don't be surprised. Okay? We're making a simple example to understand this relationship between God, creation and you. Who's got embroidery cloth? Yeah, all you girls are wearing embroideries, no? Yeah? Just stand up with your embroidery. Yeah, yeah. You in the front, yes. Yeah, just stand up. Now you see these beautiful patterns on her clothes? Aren't they lovely? Would you like to go and get shopping for yourself? We are too interested in what we can do with it. No, no, please stand up. Yeah? Stand up, stand up, stand still. What is the cloth made up of? Cotton. What is the embroidery made up of?
Thread.
Let's say cotton thread. It might be polyester, but say cotton thread. So, the cloth is made up of cotton. Inside that cloth, there is all these patterns made up of cotton. You could also make on this cloth a good design for next time. An auditorium like this, in which people are sitting with different color clothes. They all look different. But when you pull out the thread, what's there? All those different patterns were out of that one thread. Isn't it? So cotton is the cause of the cloth. The cotton is the pattern in the cloth. Is it not? Thank you, sir. Same way. From that one supreme reality called as truth, called as reality, or just call it infinite Atma. When that infinite Atma functions through the totality, it is Ishvara, God. When it functions through the individual, it is called as Jeev Atma, limited Atma, the living person. We think it will be limited. So at this moment, what are you? A wave in the ocean, Jivatma. But Atma is there. Because without Atma, there can be no Jiva, no life. So, Jeev Atma, you remove the wave, what remains? Ocean only, no? Atma. And what is Ishvara? Remove Param from that. So Jivatma, Paramatma. Remove the Jiva and Param. What remains is? What is the common? Atma. See how it is? Equation? Clear? If you can recognize yourself as that Paramatma, as that Atma which is infinite, then you are infinite. There's no limitation to you. Or you try to identify with the totality. To the extent you identify, to that extent you have the power of Ishvara or God. Identify with totality, that person is called as Ishvara. God. In English, God. Generator, ordainer, destroyer. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, whichever name you give it. All religions is the same only. Yeah. But they're talking about God as the totality. Creature as the individuality. Again, wave and ocean. Wave and ocean. But what is the substratum? Water. What is the cause? Water. What is the oneness? Water. So don't go on saying now, I am God, I am God. People understand, you are Ishvara. There is no comparison. It's like a little wave saying, you know what? The whole world is me. The whole ocean is me. The other wave said, I can eat you up. Yeah? When that wave identifies with the ocean, when it takes up more waves in its loving embrace, how does it become big? It goes on embracing more and more waves and it becomes a tidal. Still, a tidal wave has great might, great power. It is nowhere compared to the total power of the ocean, which you call as God. However, If it forgets its form, big or small, and identifies with the water, then it can declare, I am all the waves. It can declare, I am the ocean also. It can declare, I am God also. Water can declare, I am the ocean. Wave cannot declare, I am the ocean. But that wave who is recognized, I am water and water alone, that wave is no longer a wave. It has become the water from which the ocean is made. It has become the Atma from which even God appears. Clear? So this is how you have to understand the whole picture. Yes?
So I just have a doubt. If you say that we all come from the same source and there is a commonality between everybody, then why are there so many differences, religious differences, if God is the same?
Religious differences because of different opinions. Religion is man-made, not God-made.
But then if they say that the prophets are sent, I mean, in any religion...
They say no. Just to get authority to that. Yeah? In our country, we don't say that prophets are sent by God. We say that you have to discover God yourself. And those who have discovered God are prophets. In fact, they are living gods upon earth. Clear? To assert, everybody can say God said. But it is only a belief, no? It's only a belief. What proof do you have? And everybody is God sent. Including the demon, including Hitler is God sent only, no? Then? Yeah? So we have to understand, we take these theories and beliefs without actually getting into the inquiry of it. That's why I'm making you inquire. I could have told you just, God is this, Atma is this is this. Right? But I'm making you inquire to see, think. Now the next question is, if water is one, how come you have so many different waves? Some are so gentle that they touch you, you feel tickled. Other drown you like a tsunami. Yeah? What is the difference? How one of water, one can appear as a terror, a tsunami, and the other you want to go and if you're in Hollywood, you sing in it. If you're in Bollywood, you swim in it. Yeah? Why? How does that one appear as many? How does the one appear as many? It's only different shapes and forms and qualities. Doesn't it? A beautiful example is given. First of all, to point out how the one appears as the many. Second is how the one appears different. One example is given of space. Space is one, no? Yet at home, this is my bedroom. That is your toilet. This is my toilet, also we claim nowadays, no? This is my toilet. Tell me, give me my space. The latest nowadays. I want my own space. Everybody's talking about their own space. Tell me, does space belong to any one of us? Space is all pervading, all pervasive, is it not? Yeah. Yet, there is inner space, outer space, auditorium space, classroom space, toilet space. How did the one become many? Because of conditionings, isn't it? But do you think that the wall actually conditions space? Does it? The wall is also in space. Space is not conditioned, but appears conditioned by the wall. Same way, water is not conditioned by the waves, but gets as though conditioned by the form of the wave. Same way, Atma is not conditioned. It appears to be many because of different conditionings, such as the wall. Because we identify with the body, we think that there are many, many Atmas. Tell me, in this room, how many bulbs are there? Just guess. Hmm?
25.
More than that. Your financial calculations are quite bad. At least, say let's say 40. Hmm? Yeah? More than 40. But say at least 40, okay? Hmm? How many different lights are there? Three. Okay? 3 different lights. Hmm? And how many lights total? Okay, 40 to 47. Hmm? Now tell me, how many electricities are here? Electricity is one, but appears as light in different bulbs. And appears different in different bulbs. Why is it appearing different in these 2 bulbs? Because of the nature of the condition, the nature of the bulb. Which comes to another very, very important topic. That even though Atma is one in all of us, yet each one of us, according to our conditioning, are unique. And if we discover what is unique in you and express it fully, then you will find that if you are expressing your nature, your swabhava, you are the most comfortable, most peaceful. Once you know your swabhava or nature, not absolute nature which is Atma, but that which makes you unique and each one of you different, and especially those of you in HR, to recognize the swabhava of a person, nature of a person. One of our youth who is to attend our sessions in Melbourne has created a complete management course based on discovering your purpose. And you can discover your purpose by knowing what is your inherent nature. It makes you unique compared to anybody else. And that is what constitutes the character of your mind. Atma is the same in everybody, but because the anode and cathode of this is different from that, these two are exhibiting different light intensities. And because only the color of the globe is different, they appear as different colors. So all our race, creed, etc. is only because of the color of the body. But the texture of our character, the texture of our mind, which makes our character, is what makes you at this moment what you are. And that you understand, you will be clear about the purpose of your life. You have to be even clear about the purpose. As I said, most of us when we go for a job, we say it's for the money. Then afterwards, why we are unhappy when we are getting the salary which we should be getting or which we asked for? Because our purpose is not money. Many people tell me, I took up this job, Swamiji, the salary was very good, but I'm not satisfied with it. Why? People there, always complaining about each other. I said, you joined for money, right? You're getting the money, no? What? No, but now I want also that people should appreciate me. Then you should have joined a company where there is appreciation. Yeah, the next company joins, so that people appreciate the salary is not there. Are we clear for what we join? I'll give you this example. It's a very, very, I had to deal with this. And you're an amazing young lady, very talented, very beautiful, a great achiever, spiritual also, and a lovely, friendly personality. And don't worry, I didn't fall in love with her. Okay? I knew her very closely. We grew up together. I know her very well. She also ambitious, studied well, with a career, everything. And that time girls don't think about it. They think that, as though some Prince Charming will be waiting for them forever. Yeah. And boys can marry at 32, why can't girls marry at 30? But even a 32-year-old boy wants a 22-year-old girl. That's the nature of a man. See? Which girls don't understand. They think that the world will be waiting for them. No? Yeah. Now, she also did not marry for a long time. She was not interested in marriage. She had goals, ambitions, she was spiritual also. All these things were there. But finally, society pressure, family pressure. She had turned almost 30, 31. Either she had to marry now or there's no marriage after that. So there's pressure, finally society also, whatever said till today, girl not married, this, so many taboos to it, this, that. Finally she agreed for marriage. Now, somebody was not available. But she was still very beautiful. But boys desired her, men wanted her. That was fine. And there were so many people wanting to marry her. And she chose a person whom we also knew very well. And because we knew very well, naturally we could talk about that person's personality, etc. When she came and told me that, I've chosen him to get married, my first shock was, this person is not suitable for you at all. When you see the family, when you see the ability of that person, he's a nice person. One thing is, he's a good person, there's no doubt about that, but not capable in this manner, not this. Plus the family situation, not going to accept you for various reasons, etc. You're going into that family, that family doesn't like you. All these odds are against you. If you're not fallen in love with this guy, do you think it's an intelligent choice? That girl was that woman was very, very clear. She said, see, of course I will marry a person and I will love that person. I want that person to love me, whatever. But my primary purpose, first thing in society, I have to get married, so I'll get married, but I'm not just getting married for my sake. But I will marry a person who will not stop my career and my spiritual progress. Now these all girls will ask like that only. Boys will say, I want to marry a girl who will look after me very well, but she will not break my family. Yeah? Clear? At that time we didn't see whether she's intelligent, she's working, etc. Then after marriage now, she's not working, she's not intelligent enough. What is the purpose of getting married? That she'll look after you, suppose, I'm saying suppose. And she will not break your family, means she'll respect the elders in your family. So you marry that type of a girl. Now suddenly you expect her that she should have a career, she should help with the finances of family, and she should have a very intelligent conversation, not just cook in the kitchen and not just look after the family. She should be able to dress up nicely and go with parties to meet. Now suppose she doesn't have all that. Why did you choose her? Think. Now this girl chose this man for this reason. Of course there are other expectations, etc. Now the funny thing was that man did not, any role of a husband did not fulfill. But one thing never stopped her in her career and her spirituality. After 10 years, the marriage was a disaster. She came very depressed, dejected, and feeling very unsuccessful. And because of that, this woman who was such an achiever, for the first time I saw her actually depressed. This was a woman who would walk into a crowd and live in someone, a dead person would rise up when she walked into a crowd, that type of vivacious woman she was. And I see her depressed. Seeing that a whole total, and can you imagine when your husband doesn't love you or is having an affair with someone else, how it can devastate a woman, or even a man in that case, She was totally devastated. What is wrong with me? Am I not beautiful? Am I not this? And she's in every respect wonderful. Anybody would desire her. She had totally broken down. That's when I spoke to her. I said, remember 10 years ago. I didn't say, I told you it would not work. I didn't mean that. I said, 10 years ago, in this very place where I'm seeing you depressed, I'm asking you this question. Why did you marry that guy? Did you not tell me that you married him for these two reasons predominantly? Don't say your marriage was unsuccessful or your choice was wrong, because that was fulfilled. You did not marry him for other reasons. That's why you did not see that in that man, which I was telling you that he is not husband material. Because I am seeing from that standpoint that tomorrow you will need that. But as far as I also agreed for you to marry that person, why? Because one thing even I was sure that he will not stop you in these two things. But that time only that mattered to you. You get what I'm trying to point out in this relationship? So understand your absolute nature and understand your empirical nature, which is called as your Swabhava. And today, especially in HR, it is the essential topic to learn. The essential topic to learn. Because when you are appointing people in various jobs, if that temperament of that person is not suited for the job, that person cannot excel. Now I'll give you another example that took place. And so all this is explained in the Bhagavad Gita, you'll be surprised. Swadharme nidanam shreya paradharmo bhayava. That whatever profession, whatever role in life you take it by proper understanding of yourself. I'm talking now empirical, and that self means self-identified with your mind. See, this is the connection. Electricity is same everywhere. But if I need at this moment a floodlight on me, I can't be using a tube light. Is it not? I need a floodlight. And therefore the equipment that I choose or what I want to be managed right now is very important. And let me explain to you also how all of you will choose a job for money's sake, but not according to your nature. You choose your even academic courses according to that which is going to be more profitable, not according to your nature. In the 70s, everybody wanted to be either engineer, doctor or lawyer. Your parents will hear that, no? Engineer, doctor, lawyer. In the 90s, 90s are the years of IT. Today nobody wants to really go to IT. Everybody does what? But because everybody is doing it, we just follow the crowd. And then we flood the market. so that by the next decade, MBA will not have necessarily any value. Then you have to have another course which has got some value. Why does this happen? Very interesting. We were two friends in school. Now you'll understand what is your connection. We were two friends in school, and from childhood we studied together. We both stood in a rank, one after the other. So we always, even in class, we were like together. We finished school, we went to the college also, and interestingly enough, we went to the same college. We both aimed for the same college. We got it, and we were even in the same division. We knew each other so well. He always wanted to be an engineer. His brother always wanted to be a doctor, and his brother did become a doctor. But he always wanted to be an engineer from childhood. In fact, if he ever came to, and that was a mechanical engineer, he came to our house, we would shut down all our electronics, because if he touched anything, he had to open it. This childhood curiosity, his want, his desire. His father was an engineer. In every respect, he wanted to be an engineer. That's what he wanted. We came in that batch. I don't know if you know history of education in India. In 1975, it was 1977. 1977, we changed our system from the 11 plus 4 system to 12 plus 3 system. Which means two batches were coming together. And as usual, we didn't plan to increase the number of seats. Can you imagine the chaos? We didn't know what percentages were required. It was chaotic. That time, medicine required the highest percentage. Engineering, of course, IIT and all would follow after that, and then the remaining engineering college or polytechnics, etc. And that was, lawyers was almost gone by then. It was only medicine and engineering. If you took science, these are the two subjects mainly that you would go for. I mean, two courses that you would go for. It was but natural, and that's when the system started. That people apply for multiple colleges. Otherwise, you would apply for one particular college or one particular field, and they would go through that. That's when it all started. Everybody applying everywhere and anywhere. Wherever they got, they went in. It was natural for those who wanted to go into medicine, and if they didn't get into medicine because of their percentage, the next choice would be engineering. But after all, you have to get a profession after you study science. What else? You can't do just BSc and just go ahead. So after medicine, naturally the next choice was engineering. So even those who are applying for medicine were also applying in engineering colleges, so that if you don't get into medicine, at least you will go to engineering. I found this friend of mine applying in a medical college. So I told him, it doesn't make any sense to me. Why are you waiting in these long lines? Because if you will not get into engineering, there is no chance for you to get into medicine. I can understand a student for medicine could apply for engineering, but an engineering student trying to apply for medicine, I can't understand this. What is your chance? Because anyway, engineering requires far less marks than medicine at that time. If you don't get into engineering, you'll never get into medicine. The first time he told me, if I get into medicine, that will be my first choice. I said, till 2 months ago you wanted to be an engineer. What changed your mind? He says, in engineering you don't make that much money. At least medical science you're sure to make money. Now imagine this person, if he became a doctor. He was a clever student. He could pass medicine. If he became a doctor, could he be a good doctor? Cannot be. He'll never be happy. His aim is only money. He could excel in studies, no doubt. But his heart, and would he enjoy his work? Yeah? Would he develop that work except for money? if you don't understand your nature, your swabhava, and according to your swabhava, you make your choices in life, or even if you select life partner without clarity of what is your nature, you just saw someone, he's handsome, she's beautiful, she smiled at me, he smiled at her, क्या हो गया? प्यार हो गया. Fell in love. Mother says, this girl is not going to suit in the house, this boy is useless. No. So nice. After marriage, what happens? The reality hits. This is not what you wanted to marry. Beauty doesn't last. No? All the pretenders doesn't last. The reality is, he is not capable. He is still dependent. How can he look after you? Mother will see that, but you can't see that at that moment. Because that time only, he's so handsome. He loves me. So you married him for just being handsome. So why are you complaining if you can't earn any money? You earn and give him money so he can wear good clothes and look handsome. See, purpose. We're not clear about our purpose. We set goals without understanding our purpose. Apply this to the Gita, what Krishna tells Arjuna suddenly said, what have I to gain from this battlefield? Even if I win, the kingdom will be full of relatives' blood. And even if I die, it is better than me killing all these people. And what have I to gain? Why not I go to the Himalayas and become a sannyasi? Considered as the most noblest thing to do. But Krishna said, no. God says no, not to be spiritual. It's not fit for you. Because your nature, your swabhava will not permit you to sit in peace like the Rishi Munis. In fact, you will be a nuisance in the ashram. Because anytime somebody does something, you will take out your sword and bow and arrow and be ready to shoot. It's very interesting, Many business people, they come up to us and they say, Swamiji, you know what, I've earned enough money. Now I want to retire and everybody has to get off their guilt. I want to serve the community. Can I come and serve in the ashram? I look at them, I said, no, please. In the ashram, you'll have 10 people to serve you. Because you're so used to that. And secondly is, it's so funny, even they come to the ashram, they will only think on how to make money. Not for themselves necessarily also. Example, when I used to go for my youth retreats with Swami Chinmaya, I used to come from Hong Kong. I was a businessman at that time, just gone into business. I was only 21 at that time, and I would go to our ashram in the Himalayas to just be and learn from Gurudev, Swami Chinmaya. He was an amazing teacher. And it would be so amazing. We were there for spirituality. Our questions would be only spiritual questions, not even really speaking. How will it help in my business and all that? The business will take care of you. First teach us, who am I, kind of. But these business people used to come, and I remember this one conversation. This man is standing, looking at the Himalayas. Gurudev is standing there in front of the Himalayas, towering personality himself, just standing there. And this man comes. We are all standing there, just enjoying his peace and his presence. And at that moment, this man comes and says, Swamiji, look at Japan. They've got so much income coming just because of skiing. What are we doing in the Himalaya? Swamiji, you should now, you've opened schools, etc. You must start a Chinmaya skiing club. Because look, Himalaya snow is there, etc. Gurudev also was entertaining him and telling him, yeah, but the snow and these mountains, they are not permanent. They come and go. So he said, no, but see how what the Japanese do. You get this machine that can make snow and keep the mountains snowed for the whole year round. Yeah. Achha. How much does that machine cost? So much, so much. But Swamiji, in 2 years, the whole ashram can run with the money from skiing, Listening to this, entertaining himself, listening to this whole thing, First of all, these mountains are not made for skiing. So what you'll have to do, if they are like the Swiss mountains or the higher mountains in the Himalayas, they're meant for skiing. If you ski on it, you don't have to put this extra effort of bringing a snow machine and then pumping in the snow from there. You don't have to do that because the nature of the mountain allows skiing. Nature of this mountain does not allow skiing. One is that, yeah? Then you're coming to an ashram and you're thinking of making money out of skiing. Now can you imagine a Swami is thinking about how to make money to run the ashram from skiing? His attention will be not on the ashram, it will be on skiing. Is it not? Think about it. Nature. And that person, he was talking, and we see what he's talking. And when he went, Gurudev said, businessman, even here we can only think about how to make money. See? Nature. Thus, if you want to raise donations in the ashram, keep such people. Because they can do it. Not those who have come for spirituality, renouncing everything. Money, what is money? Look, I'm running a school, okay? There is so much expenses running a school. So we were saying, how at least we can at least cover the cost of all the labor, etc. through generating fund. So one person came there. He said, I've got this government scheme. We can put this plantation, that plantation for you. Plantation, this, that. We all clean up this place. How much that cost? This much lakhs, that much lakh. But we will do it. And after 5 years, you will get a yield. But meanwhile, you will get no yield. But after all, you all don't want to make money. So of course, we don't want to make money, but we have got running costs to make money, isn't it? Yeah? So if you have such people, then institution will become khali. Is it not? There you need someone who can think that expenses, money doesn't fall from the sky. That we have to generate income to maintain the expenses. Like our present government laws. On one side they say increase the salary of the teacher, on the other side they remove fees. So where is the money coming from? Government will give. See, look at the ridiculous policies, how it happens. So you can imagine, some of you should become, with all your financial knowledge, but some of you can't calculate, so don't become politicians. See, nature. Krishna is telling Arjuna, your nature is of a soldier. If you see anyone in trouble, you will get up in arms to fight. If you go to the Himalayas to meditate, you will be miserable. And you bring a Himalayan monk from Tibet to fight against the Chinese. But I shall not fight. Your country is gone. Is it not? Nature. But if he lives his nature today, look at what sensation he has done in the world. Imagine if Dalai Lama took arms and started fighting. Nobody will respect Dalai Lama. But somebody who's got the spirit for fighting, he gets up and fights. We'll say, great. Those who are capable of fighting and they sit back and say, what to do? You say, what a chicken you are. Is it not? Nature. So understand your absolute nature, the Atma. Understand the mind and the habits it has created, the character it has formulated, the personality that you have become. Then you can apply it properly. Then you can manage it properly. So tomorrow's our discussion will be on the mind. How do we understand the nature of the mind? And once you understand the nature of the mind, then you can understand the differences why they are there. And you can manage those differences positively rather than negatively. Suppose everybody was a good batter like Tendulkar And nobody was a good runner like, who's there? Huh? Tell me. So tell me, if he was also a good batter, everybody is a good batter in the Indian team, what would happen? You would make no runs. Yeah? You would have no catches. You would take no wickets. Is it not? Just think. The differences in the world is not the problem. The problem is because of our ego that we make distinctions. That is the problem. Differences in the universe is what makes the universe. If only water was there, what makes the variety is the waves. But some waves you used to wade. Some waves you used to surf. Some waves you used to carry you to destination. Some also destroy, like the tsunami. You get the point? The differences are not the problem of the universe. It is because of our ignorance, the distinctions that we create. High, low. Tell me, what is high and what is low? Again, when you take up a job, I'm at a high position. I'm at the low position. On what basis? Salary, very often? Is it by the quality of your work? No. Yeah? A sweeper who comes to your room and cleans up without even being known, cleans your office atmosphere so that you can sit there without sneezing, without allergies, without sickness, does it neatly and clearly. As far as his work is concerned, better than that fellow who sits there drinking a cup of coffee every 20 minutes break and not doing anything. Whose position is higher? Work-wise, the sweepers. Is it not? So on what criteria we make the distinctions? There is where the problem is. Not in the differences of the world. The problem is not difference of opinion in a company. The problem is my opinion is better than your opinion. The problem is not religion in the world. The problem is my religion alone is superior. Yours is blasphemy. That is the problem. Not the differences. So, what constitutes these differences? What constitutes these differences? And how do we, with the understanding of these differences, manage our goals by understanding our purpose properly? Manage people by understanding their nature. This is all just first, second, third chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Remaining, you can imagine what is there. So, I suggest that if you really want to understand what is your absolute nature, read the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. For your research, if you want to do, second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. If you want to learn about leadership, recognizing your purpose, attitude in your work, expanding to the totality, it is the third chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Read these two. I mentioned about Kena Upanishad as for the knowledge of the self, which is also there in the second chapter of the Gita. These are the textbooks that you can study. In fact, it is from the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita that I made the course Make It Happen. Tomorrow I'll give you a glimpse of it, which I use for corporates, which we are using in universities abroad, which is based on this second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. First of all, recognizing, see, if you want to make something happen in your life, you want success. First of all, you have to be clear what is it that you want. Isn't it? You have to be clear what I want. So I have to understand my wants. And do you know our wants can be classified under 4 headings, 3 headings. Our need, our desire, our goal. All 3 are wants only. But what makes a need different from a desire? A desire from a goal. You'll be surprised. I've spoken to some of the CEOs of the largest companies in the world. When you ask someone what is a goal, very rarely anybody can define what is a goal. Everybody talks about goal setting, goal setting, goal setting, but what is a goal? Think over it. What is a goal?
The achievement.
The ultimate purpose of your action.
Ultimate purpose of your action is goal.
What you want to be. The end point. The object.
What is the desire? What is the need? All have to be attained. What is the end result of your action? What is the difference between these 3? I want you to think over, and tomorrow we shall take it up for discussion.
Need, desire, goal.
Need, desire, goal. What is the difference between the 3? Okay? And I want you to do one thing. List down what you call as your needs. This is for your own personal. You will not necessarily, we'll ask you to share if you want to share it, but what are your needs? Once you have defined your need, you write your definition on one page, needs, and write down your needs. Then write down your definition on desire and write down your desires. Write down the definition of goal and write down your goals. Can you do that for tomorrow?
Yes.
Anybody going to check the homework? Yeah? So tomorrow you please bring this with you, and then we will go into this, and then what is amazing that you will discover, individually you apply it is one thing, you apply it to the totality, it is something totally different. And once you recognize the link and you can make your team see the link of it. So all this you may theoretically understand. You actually see it, then you will know. Tomorrow we shall work on that. But if this exercise you've done we will save time. Because tomorrow we have to cover 2 topics and which we will lead from here. Okay? So, just to summarize what we have done today. First we explain the significance of spiritual knowledge with our management and certain principles that how you can yourself study, relate these principles with management, which I gave you in general. Then we went into the inquiry as to what is it that we are really wanting in life, the purpose for which we want everything. The final purpose is happiness only, isn't it? So we don't want things, etc. At the same time, if we want permanent happiness, we cannot get it from impermanent objects. From there we led on to understand that if we are seeking permanent happiness, it can be gained only from that which is permanent. So then the inquiry began, what is permanent? To see change, the seer must be changeless. If happiness is not in the object, it must be in the subject. And then the inquiry began to as far as who am I? And then we saw that if my notion of myself is limited, my purpose, my goals, my limits will be conditioned by that equipment, the body. Is it not? It's limited by that. Thus, if I think I am the body, and what is the body's main purpose? Survival. So survival becomes my main goal. What does the body find joys in? Comfort. And providing myself comfort becomes my only goal. Then, hook or by crook, what does it matter? But if I expand my vision to recognize that I am a Jivatma who does not die when this body dies, but something more than the body, whether I say go to heaven, hell, etc., which means that the consequences I have to pay not only in this life, but even in next life. Therefore, I start thinking. Then only ethics and all have got any meaning. That whatever I do today in the future, I have to bear, whether this life or next life. So therefore, how do I follow my life so that I don't get negative consequences? It comes from only understanding that my life extends beyond this body. If we go further to recognize the complete eternity of the Atma, the soul, and its infinite nature, and logically we deducted that, not only we find out that the source of happiness is me alone, I am permanent, and therefore I need nothing at all. I am independent to be happy. Then, why the differences and distinction? Then we understand the whole creation. The same Atma functioning through totality is Ishvara or God. That same Atma functioning through individual equipments, not just human, any creature, is the Jiva. Jiva, out of his ignorance, identifies with different equipments and thinks, this is me. Now I am an ant, now I am a human being. Human being, now I am young, now I am growing old. Is all identification with the body. Color, caste, creed, etc. All identification with these equipments, which creates the differences according to one's swabhava. And this swabhava is guided by the texture of your mind. And what is your mind made up of? Your continuous thoughts and practices. You create your habits. Habits become your character. Your character becomes your nature. With your nature, when you act, it is spontaneous, easy and fulfilling. Temporary though, but fulfilling. When you act against your nature, it is a struggle. You may or you may not be able to perform properly, but there is no sense of satisfaction. These are very important points, especially for HR students. Otherwise, you will get people in certain position, get them a good salary, but they will not be happy. Their officers will not be happy with them, they will not be happy with the job because the placement is wrong. Not because they are incapable. The placement is wrong. Just to conclude with an example, one of our largest garment exporting factories had spoken. I generally ask these people, what do you find difficult in your management? What are the challenges that you find in your management? What are issues that managers would like to know and learn? That's how I kind of, very often speak to these people. Because something has to be relevant to them. If I today spoke to you about Atma, Paramatma in the spiritual sense, those of you inclined spiritually will find it very fascinating. But the remaining will say, it has got to do our management college. Is it not? It has to relate to you. So I asked him, I said, what are the challenges that you feel He says very often it is always the main challenges in our company is not management of material resources. That all you can do. It's managing of human resources. I said, what is the problem? He says, and very often when these CEOs and all speak to me, they're not talking about, which market should I invest in, do you think that time is good? So they know I'm not an astrologer. They're always asking me this one question. How do you motivate these people? How do you inspire these people? How do you maintain your staff? I said, don't worry, we all have the same problem. Every company. Even those staff of ours who go and become, CEOs or principals somewhere else, we ask them the same thing. How's the staff? Always changing. How do you retain it? They are asking. So one person I was discussing and he told me something very interesting. He said, I used to have a lady in my sales department and she was managing at lower level, but she was managing. But everybody was complaining and she was just not performing. Finally, for company's sake, even though she was there with me for 6, 7 years, 8 years, but she was not performing. And I decided to finally, with the request of everybody else, fire. And he says just to think about it. The day I was about to call her and tell that, I would give her a good package so that she could get another job. She was an elderly lady. Just that day only found out that her husband died. She had been diagnosed a month ago with cancer. She has got 2 children. Now his question was, he just found out. All this time he didn't know, but when he inquired, he found out. Now how does he fire? One side is emotion, other side is the company. But he said, all my officers told me this woman is just not performing. Everybody under her is demotivated. There are no targets properly set. What can I do? He called her. He was about to fire her. And when she came there, he just asked her and she wept. And he found that the situation was so bad, he didn't have the heart to fire her. But he can't keep her in that position because there are many under that is going to suffer, company is going to suffer. So he asked her just one thing. He said, I actually called you because I felt you were not performing. But now I don't know, I can fire you. Even if I give a good package, she wept. She said, I got 2 children, not now, please don't fire. And she agreed. She said, I know I can't perform. So he said, then what do I do with you? Then he just thought, and this came out from his mouth, is there any other job that you think you can be good at I can give you? But I can't keep you in that position. She said, but I don't like that position. I just don't want that job. So he said, then what job would you like to do? And she said, I'm very good at arranging things. Can you give me a secretarial job? He said, okay, I'll send you for training. He sent her for 3 weeks of training. He says, today she is my best secretary in the office, earning more money as she was getting than as a sales manager. Just wrong placement, that's all. Not knowing her nature. She also got a job, she took it, was earning money. She didn't strive to change a position. It's this crucial situation that pushed both the boss and the staff to think where she can be placed. Otherwise, he would have just fired her. She would have probably stayed in that condition, never progressing. But once her nature was known, and what she had a passion for, what she was good for, he moved her from there to the other department. And today he says, I knew always that she was a very loyal person, that's why I kept her in the company. But there she was not performing. How long can I keep loyalty going without profits? I changed her position. Today he says, she is my most reliable secretary, my job is done so well, everything is so fantastic, and she's one of my best staff. See again, Swabhava, nature. So why we need to understand our own mind, so that we can understand the minds of others and how we can recognize it by the food that we eat. All this has been amazingly explained in the Bhagavad Gita. And that's in the 14th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Amazing. Such knowledge base is available to us. Harvard and other universities are using all this. I'll tell you how they use it for interviews also. Then you'll be surprised. Next time you go for an interview, how you should eat is also very important. Because there are some people who have learned those management skills. They interview you, you have to be very careful how you go for interview. You think that you are so confident, your CV is so impressive, and you gave answer to every question that they asked you. And yet they did not take you. Why? These things are there, to understand this mind. So we shall see that